I have been a supporter of OneCity for a few years now. I really believe in their vision of neighborhoods for all Vancouverites, um, building like rapidly building abundant housing and responding to the climate crisis at the scale that it needs to be responded to, not just whatever is going to make headlines as like greening the city. Um, I think that their approach of inclusive, like ethnic inclusivity, is really key here. Not just diversity, not just having a bunch of different types of faces in front of the crowd, but actually incorporating wisdom and learnings and understanding from other groups and bringing them into the core of what we do, recognizing that this is this very diverse city, and that if we actually get different groups who are currently not well connected, if we get them connected to each other, we can start doing things that the world has never seen before. We can combine cultures in these new and interesting ways, and address problems with just new ideas that are there waiting for us to capitalize on them. And again, that's that community infrastructure. That's that humans looking out for each other piece. I really think that this is a place where we need to invest as a society. I think the municipality is the level at which this needs to be done. I think, getting to know your neighbors and having more neighbors means that you have more opportunities to connect with different kinds of people. Vancouver can be a very isolating place. It can be a place where it's hard to make friends. It can be a place where it's hard to sustain connections. I think there's an architecture answer to this, which is that, when we are siloed away from each other and there aren't public spaces for us to gather and reasons for us to gather in those spaces, then we never get to meet other people. And so we have, on one hand, a lack of connection, a real, like a need for improved connection. And on the other hand, what we have is a group of musicians and arts makers, organizers, conveners who are looking for something to do because all of the venues have been shut down. They're lacking opportunities. And these are two problems that solve themselves. And what I would like to do with this campaign is activate and mobilize the arts and culture sector from a variety of different perspectives, a variety of different cultures and ethnicities and backgrounds and perspectives, and then put it in public places and use this, change the city's architecture, change the city's policy architecture to make that easier to have abundant culture, have abundant arts and places and reasons for people to convene and to gather and to discuss and to meet each other. And that on its own represents a public investment in community infrastructure that will benefit the city and allow us to do a lot of other things much more easily. I happened to be at the truck thing yesterday. And what I saw was people from a variety of different backgrounds who all just shared a desire to protect the city from the flood of anger and rage that was coming in. And people were primed, people were ready. And I brought a speaker and I played some tunes, and it really kind of elevated what we were doing, and it made it a lot more fun. It made it a lot more celebratory, and it allowed us to sort of diffuse some of the anger and some of the rage, so that what the truckers then ran into was just basically a giant street party. And it's really, really, really hard to stay mad at a giant street party. And I saw, it was an environment for people to make those kinds of connections and for people to talk to each other. And I think we can just have more of that. I don't think there's any reason why this has to be a no fun city. And I think solving the no fun city problem helps us solve the climate problem, helps us solve the housing problem, helps us solve the ethnic strife problem, and helps solve a lot of problems altogether.